Normal arterial pulse waveforms. To understand the normal arterial pulse waveforms, first we need to know what is pulse. A pulse is a pressure wave that is created in the aorta due to the left ventricular ejection of blood into the aorta, and it is transmitted into the peripheral arteries like brachial artery and radial artery. Mostly we prefer measuring pulse at radial artery, but also at brachial artery sometimes. So as the pressure wave is produced at the aorta, it gets transmitted to the other arteries, peripheral arteries, and the rate of transmission of this is at 5 meters per second. That is, the pressure wave will travel 5 meters per 1 second, and this is recorded at radial artery in clinicals. So when we introduce catheters into the aorta or brachial artery or radial artery or any other artery in the body, we can record the pressure waves, and these pressure waves of pulse contain following components: a systolic wave, a notch which is called as incisura when we measure it at aorta, and it is called dicrotic notch when we measure at peripheral arteries, and there is a diastolic wave. This systolic wave contains a systolic upstroke, a systolic peak pressure, systolic downstroke or decline. Also, there is another notch called as anacrotic notch. Let's discuss each wave in detail. So if you look at pulse wave, it looks like this. This is a normal pulse wave. This part is the systolic part corresponding between S1 heart sound and S2 heart sound, and this part is the diastolic wave corresponding between the S2 of first sound and S1 of the next heart sound. So as I said, a systolic wave contains systolic upstroke. This is an anacrotic notch. This is a systolic peak pressure and a systolic downstroke or decline, and this notch is the dicrotic notch or incisura. You call it incisura when you record the pulse wave at aorta, and dicrotic notch when you measure it at peripheral arteries, and this is the diastolic decline, and this point will be the end diastolic pressure because it is the pressure at the end of the diastole. So what is the reason behind systolic upstroke? It is basically due to the ejection of blood from the left ventricle into the aorta. This increases the pressure in the aorta, and thus this pressure will be increasing here. Systolic upstroke due to the left ventricular ejection. And the systolic peak pressure is the peak point of this pressure, and this is the pressure that is responsible for removing the clots from the circulation and when you cut any vessel, the gush of the blood that comes out is also due to this gushing of blood from a cut, is also because of this systolic peak pressure. And this is a systolic decline. Systolic decline is due to the end of the ventricular contraction. LV contraction is ended. So as I said, there is another notch here, that is anacrotic notch. The anacrotic notch is due to the back pressure or a reflected wave, reflected pressure wave. So normally, if you say this is aorta and these are peripheral arteries and these are arterioles and these are capillaries. So this is aorta. At aorta, the capacitance of the vessel is high and the pressure will be low. Comparing this with here, the peripheral vessels, the capacitance will be high and the pressure will be low. Capacitance means the capacity of the aorta to accept the blood volume. So it is a large vessel, so it can accept more blood without creating much of a pressure or resistance. But you go to the peripheral arteries, the capacitance, as you go to the peripheral arteries down, capacitance will decrease and the pressure will increase, that is peripheral vascular resistance will increase. So when the pressure wave is transmitted from the aorta, there is no resistance for the pressure wave here, but when it is going to the peripheral vessels, as the peripheral vascular resistance is high, there will be a resistance offered to the pressure wave and the pressure wave will be reflected back to the aortic valve, and because of this there will be increased pressure here. As the pressure wave is coming back and the pressure wave is coming here front, there will be extra pressure here, and this extra pressure will be seen as this notch here, the increasing pressure. This is because of that reflection of the back pressure wave. So this is anacrotic notch because of the reflected pressure wave. And then the next one is a notch, that is incisura. It is basically due to the closure of AV valves. So when the AV valve is closed, the blood doesn't know where to go. It only has one way. It has to go here. But for a moment, the blood will create a pressure here. So because of that pressure, there will be a notch here, like this, a notch. An increased pressure due to the closure of AV valve will create this incisura. But if you measure it at aorta, it is called incisura. But if you put the catheter here, it is incisura. But if you put the catheter here or here, as you go from here to here, when you take the waves, here there will be incisura. This is the incisura. But if you take here, the incisura will be fading. It's not as prominent as here. The incisura will be fading here, and again if you go down, the incisura will be faded. So there will be no incisura if you go downwards towards the peripheries. But as you again reach arterioles, and again these places, arterioles are high resistance vessels, because of the increased peripheral vascular resistance, there will be again a pressure created there, due to which there will be dicrotic notch. which is at the peripheral vessels. This is not due to the closure of AV valves, but this is due to the increased peripheral vascular resistance. So because of this increased peripheral vascular resistance, there will be a dicrotic notch. This is a dicrotic notch, and this is a incisura. Sometimes a pulse wave can have both incisura and a dicrotic notch, but the incisura will not be much prominent. This is incisura and this is dicrotic notch. So dicrotic notch is at the peripheries of the peripheral vessels, and the incisura will be at the aorta. Incisura will be due to the closure of aortic valves, where it creates a high pressure here, and at the peripheries, due to the increased peripheral vascular resistance, there is dicrotic notch. So after the dicrotic notch, the last one is diastolic wave. As you see here, the diastolic wave after the incisura or dicrotic notch is decreasing, but it's not a sudden decrease like this. It is slowly decreasing. The slow decrease is because the vessels can store the blood. They have capacitance, right? So when they store the blood, it's not rapidly sent to the peripheral circulation or down, but it is slowly ejected towards the peripheral circulation. That is the reason the diastolic wave will be slowly decreased rather than rapid decrease, and that corresponds to the diastolic wave. And at the end of the diastolic wave, what is the pressure that's remaining will be the end diastolic pressure. Now the factors that affect this waveforms. First, the age. If you take neonates, they doesn't have much PVR. The PVR, the peripheral vascular resistance, will be low, and the capacitance of their vessels will be high. So as I said you, when the capacitance is high, the deflected pressure wave, which is creating this anacrotic notch, will be not there. So in neonates, the anacrotic notch is less prominent. As in elderly, the vessels become stiff, and also when the elderly patient has hypertension, systemic hypertension, there will be stiff vessels. So this will increase the capacitance, decrease the capacitance, and resistance is increased. So because of this increased resistance and decreased capacitance, this deflected wave will be much more prominent, and that's the reason the anacrotic notch will also be much more prominent, and the peak pressure will also be high. So in these patients, peak systolic pressure is high, anacrotic notch is more prominent, then if there is any disease like aortic regurgitation, what happens in aortic regurgitation is, from the aorta the blood goes back